Welcome to the Explainer. Look, if you've been feeling the heavy weight of daily worries lately, trust me, you are definitely not alone. Finding peace in today's fast-paced world, it can be incredibly tough. But today, we're diving right into a truly fascinating concept from our source material. We're going to see how understanding divine provision can actually bring us some deep, genuine comfort, help dial back that daily stress, and ultimately inspire us to reflect that exact same generosity in our own lives. We've got a lot of rich, practical wisdom to unpack here, so let's jump right in. So we all face anxiety over our daily necessities, right? Whether it's stressing out over inflation, trying to keep enough food in the pantry, paying those utility bills, or just making sure our families are secure. These are super relatable, universal human concerns. Because of that, we're going to use the text today to tackle a really vital question. Why does God provide for us? Understanding the why behind this is an absolute game changer. It fundamentally shifts our perspective from this constant feeling of scarcity to a real place of reassurance.
All right, moving into section 1, the source of generosity.
This brief text from Ephesians 5:1 really anchors our entire explainer today. It says, "Become imitators of God." It's a crystal clear, direct command to observe and replicate divine qualities. I mean, think about what it actually means to imitate someone. You've got to study them, figure out their motives, and then mirror their actions, right? It takes conscious effort. When the source text invites us to imitate God, it's specifically pointing toward his immense generosity. But, before we can successfully imitate that generosity in our own communities, we really need to understand exactly how it's shown to us in the first place.
That brings us to section 2, our daily human needs.
The source material is remarkably realistic about what we actually need. It makes this very practical distinction between our wants and our real essential needs. It highlights that, hey, while we might not always have endless luxuries or the most expensive gadgets, God makes it possible for us to have the fundamental daily provisions: food, clothing, and shelter, the absolute basics to sustain human life. So when we sit down to a hot meal, throw on a warm coat in the middle of winter, or just lock our doors at night to sleep in a safe, secure space, the text encourages us to view those things not just as the result of our own hard work, but as direct evidence of Jehovah's generosity making it all possible.
Now, let's take a closer look at the true motive behind these everyday material provisions. Does Jehovah provide just out of some sense of obligation? Is it purely a duty? Kind of like how a landlord is legally required to keep the heat running in an apartment building. It's a pretty profound question because the answer completely changes how we experience gratitude. If it's just a strict duty, our gratitude might be polite but a bit distant. But if it's something more, well, our whole response changes.
And the text firmly answers, not at all. He provides for our physical needs out of deep, genuine love. The source material draws this incredibly beautiful, relatable parallel here, saying it's exactly like a caring human father who looks after his family. Think about it. A good parent doesn't feed and clothe their kids simply because the law says they have to. No way. They do it because they love them deeply and want to see them thrive. They genuinely take joy in seeing their children safe and full. And that is the exact warm, familial motive the text attributes to Jehovah's provision for us.
Next up is section 3, the lesson of the birds. Here, we're looking at the words of Jesus found in Matthew 6:26. And he uses the birds of the sky as this powerful everyday example. Jesus points out they do not sow seed or reap or gather into storehouses. Just pause and think about that for a second. Many birds literally have to eat up to a third of their body weight every single day just to survive. Yet, they aren't clocking in to a 9-to-5 job. They don't have complex agricultural systems, pantries, or savings accounts. They do zero human labor. Yet, as the text beautifully points out, your heavenly Father feeds them. They are completely sustained by God's constant, quiet generosity in nature.
So the absolutely crucial point here is this. Are you not worth more than they are? This rhetorical question really forces us to stop in our tracks and recognize our own immense value. Think about it. If the creator of the universe takes the meticulous time to ensure a tiny little sparrow has enough seeds to eat today, how much more does he care about the livelihood, the health, and the security of human beings?
This sets up a deeply comforting logical argument. On one side, we have the birds. They do not sow or reap, yet they are reliably fed by the Heavenly Father. On the exact opposite side, we have humans, who the text establishes are worth significantly more than animals. The inescapable conclusion here? Humans will absolutely be provided for out of love. It's a classic argument from the lesser to the greater, and it's designed specifically to dismantle our everyday anxiety. If the lesser creation is cared for so perfectly, the greater creation, us, has absolutely no reason to panic.
Finally, we arrive at Section 4, Imitating Our Heavenly Father.
Everything we've talked about comes together right here into a really practical roadmap. First, knowing we're lovingly provided for allows us to find true comfort. And that comfort naturally leads to the second point, letting go of that consuming anxiety over material needs. When we finally stop operating from a place of fear and scarcity, we are free to do what Ephesians commanded us to do at the very beginning of this explainer, become imitators of God's generosity. And we do this by actively sharing what we have with others. If God provides us with food, hey, we can share a hot meal with someone in need. If we have shelter, we can offer warmth and a welcoming space. We can even just generously share our time, a listening ear, or our energy to help lift someone else up. By doing this, we are directly mirroring the exact loving care that we receive every single day. It really is this incredibly beautiful cycle of receiving with gratitude and giving with joy. So as you go about your week, maybe ask yourself, what is one small way I can pour that same generosity into someone else's life today? For more information, please visit jw.org. And don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and press bell icon to get the notification for new video. Thanks.